Greetings, YouTube. You know I always keep it 100 with you, right? Or even as one summoner a couple years ago said, Prof, you keep it 1,000 with us. I don't know if I know what that means. Somehow I think I know what I love you 3,000 means more than you keep it 1,000. But regardless, I'm saying that to say that with my busy schedule and the limited time, because most of the time I'll record 5 to 6 videos in the span of 2 hours. Now that, of course, changes when I have to go through hundreds of early access bundle or compensation submissions. That video I made with the first and I guess only batch of compensation crystals for Odin took me 5 hours to do. And the average video like that, it makes about, once it's all said and done, about $4 to $5 on the channel, which, $4 to $5 is $4 to $5. But, for 5 hours of work, obviously, you're not doing it for $1 an hour. You're doing it for the community. And so that certainly can be a labor of love. But I say this to say I don't have time to read all the messages that I get, and I certainly don't have time to read all the comments on YouTube. I usually try to respond to all line messages and Twitter messages, but those of you who attempt to message me on Instagram, it's just not a good way to send things. They don't allow you to flip photos, or sometimes they even compress videos worse than email. So Instagram is just a no-go, even though every day I say that, and then people still try to direct message me. But I have seen both privately and on several videos I've posted lately, Prof, what do you have against uncollected players? Why have you not addressed this issue? And I guess I shouldn't have been surprised that some people felt this way, but I kind of was, because it's easy to forget that becoming uncollected for a long time is a really big deal. And the biggest reason why that's a big deal is that for so long, when you play this game, you are subjected to opening mainly 2-star and even 1-star champs. But once you become uncollected, the gold crystals improve. And these things really do add up, especially if you're like me and you hoard them until the Summoner Appreciation triple or quadruple month, which usually is in about June or July is when that comes. You get the, I think, an improvement to the daily crystal. The 4-hour crystal certainly is improved. But more than anything, right, you get access to Grandmaster crystals, which used to be the gold standard. I mean, these things really did change the game when they came out, because suddenly you had at least a 1% shot at a 5-star, which 5 stars used to be the highest hype, right? When Uncollected came out, there was no such thing as 6-star champions. And so uncollected players really do want to feel like they have achieved greatness that Conqueror players have not. But when you talk about the updates and you talk about the changes to daily specials, now all of a sudden for $5 a day, you are giving all summoners over level 5 the same access to the Grandmaster daily special that you would have to wait for, historically speaking, until you became uncollected, which for some summoners, and I know this blows people's minds, for some summoners that could take a few years. Because, believe it or not, there are people out there who play this game as casually as it gets. Some never join an alliance, believe it or not. And some join a casual, like map 3 or map 4 alliance quest and war optional alliance, where it might take them, 2 years to get their first rank 4 5-star. Maybe not as much now if they do the side quests, but just in general, they're extremely casual. So this Grandmaster Daily Special used to feel like a huge accomplishment for them. I do think what's really interesting is that, assuming it keeps the same format, if you're level 5 and you're already getting 2,400 Tier 2 Alpha Catalyst fragments every time you buy one of these, and 100 5-star shards, and even half a Tier 4 basic, it's just going to be a lot easier for you to progress. And the best part, I mean, if you're level 5, and your best bet is to rank up your, 2-star Iron Patriot, and you get a crystal that has a guaranteed, I don't care, that's 80%, 3-star is the worst you can do. You buy a week's worth of those, and suddenly you've got your whole new squad based solely off of just those champions. And I remember when I started this game, it would cost about a week's worth of Grandmaster Science crystals just to get, a 3-star Deadpool, who, in hindsight, didn't help me at all, and I never used him. So that's a huge improvement for those beginning players, but it does put them with the daily special on the same playing field as those that have grinded for Uncollected. But here's what I'm going to say a little bit as a rebuttal. So let's remember this bundle this week that I actually thought was quite fair, particularly for those that already had the units saved up. Uncollected is still the most common top tier cutoff for deals in Marvel Casino of Champions. They seem to view Uncollected members as so valuable, and I'm sure there's just so many still who haven't yet become Cavalier, that that's the progression level that they target for the cutoff. Thronebreaker, we haven't seen it once yet in a non-Cyber Weekend offer for Thronebreaker to be the cutoff. And Cavalier, it's still very rare. So Uncollected players do have better crystals from the 4 hours to the dailies, but especially the Glory Store and most offers. Conqueror players don't get access to this like you do. But the other thing is, Kabam wants you to progress. And if you're ticked off about becoming Uncollected, it's time to use that anger as motivation to become Cavalier. And I know it's easier said than done. And I wish, for the life of me, I still don't know why Kabam has kept the 4-star gate restrictions in Act 6 up, because I know so many skilled players who aren't afraid to use money or units to bring their 4 stars into Act 6 if they could to become Cavalier. And it would take quite a bit. You might have to do some crazy Corvus cheese or something with a 4-star, even if they're at rank 5 with 30% boosts to make it work. But people would do it. And Kabam would make more money. But regardless of that, I just want to say, Uncollected players, it's not that you're not valued. It's just that they're now trying to show you that Cavalier really, in terms of progression, is the new Uncollected, because Cavalier is the second highest progression point. And so I would encourage those of you who feel like Uncollected players are being disrespected to remember the Glory Store changes are huge for you. You're still the cutoff point for most major offers, and you really have more motivation than ever before to push to become Cavalier. I cannot tell you how much better your login calendar gets, how much better the daily Cav versus the daily Grandmaster. I mean, it's crazy how much better. Tier 2 Alpha from 2,400 to 9,000. You get, yes, a small pittance, but still 6-star shards instead of 5-star shards. And with these buffed drop rates, I can't wait until they bring back the Nexus for daily Cavs, because you're looking at 24%. 1 out of 4, essentially, is a 5-star. And the 6-star drop rate, it's now 4.5%. Unbelievable. This thing for $5, if that doesn't motivate you to become Cavalier on its own, I don't know what will. And the daily Cavs are great. Obviously, daily Thronebreakers are my favorite crystals in the game. But regardless, I get why you're upset, because you feel like level 5 players jumped the line. They just did the fast pass in Candyland. But at the same time, there's still a lot of reasons to be thankful that you grinded to become Uncollected. And just remember, use that as motivation to become Cavalier. You'll be so thankful you did. Once you become Cavalier, you won't think about becoming Uncollected anymore, because you won't have to worry about it anymore. So that's my rant for today, after so many people asked why I hadn't addressed this. It took a couple of days, but I did. So better late than never, right? Have a great rest of your day, YouTube. Thanks for watching.